a little bit to do that. However, his harass, things were even after that, so you can't really pinpoint it to that.
Nice opener from Jon Snow, and nice opener from Tefl too with the defense. Game 3, game 1, 3 on terraces, 2 all Rhina, 3 central protocol. What are these Zergs thinking? They're just like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get them out of the way. And game 3 for central protocol, ZVZ. This is going to be very interesting, Koshkii. Of course, there is some nuances to central protocol, but I feel like they may just be thrown down into 2-base Muta, and it's going to be like, we'll just 2-base Muta it.
Could be 2-base Muta. Frequently, you can see drops on this map, too. So there is that potential. We have yet to see a drop, I believe.
Central protocol, I guess you could do it. There's a lot of surface area for just pure vision of overlords if you wanted to execute a Nidus network, but with a lot of surface area into the main, it's great for Mutalisks wanting to face off for spores, etc. But here we are, ladies and gentlemen, on Central Protocol for Game 3 of this best of 5. In the bottom right-hand corner, the green Zerg, it is Tefl, up 2-0.
And in the top left, we have our blue Zerg. It is Jon Snow.
Not sure if these spawn positions have worked out better for Tefl or Jon Snow, just because Jon Snow, he does like being really aggressive, but generally you kind of say, okay, a bigger map is better for maybe the slightly less experienced player. But I don't know. Could backfire.
We do have that earlier spawning pool and that gas being taken here for Jon Snow. Now it's going to take him longer to get his army over to Tefl's base. This might work very well here for Tefl. Just that extra time, buys Tefl what he can get to get those extra lings out.
Tefl will be scouting cross spawns first with his second overlord at the bottom left, so he will have some notion of where Jon Snow is in a while. But for now, Tefl is taking his quick natural base. Jon Snow is not going to be able to punish it. Like, if you really think about it, Central Protocol as a cross spawns map, it's a very big map. Like, this actually just give Tefl an incredibly strong, secure mid game where he just can't really be touched with his macro and economy. But Jon Snow is going to push out. It's just going to take a while for him to get to the other side. It's a big, big map.
Yeah, and these lings, they're heading out. At this point, still, Jon Snow, a little unsure of where his opponent is. He knows that it's not the top right. Link, so they go to the tower. They see what's going on, looking like they have a feeling that it is actually bottom right. That is where the lings are heading now. But, the lings for Tefl are already out. They see Jon Snow's lings distracting them a little bit, going home, and queens actually should be arriving for Tefl in a little bit, too. We've got one queen out already, ready on the defense. Going to take a while, though, to get there without the creep.
The natural base is pressured, and this is actually a build order kind of matchup we see a decent amount on Freon terraces, where generally the blue Zerg, Jon Snow, can get to the natural base of Tefl a little bit quicker and deny that natural, but not going to work out this time. Tefl, he's got the queen out, he's got a second queen, as you mentioned, Koshkii, and lings and drones are just barely going to be enough to rebuke and just shove back Jon Snow. But Jon Snow, with more lings accumulating, more lings pushing on into this, he's currently at 12 to, or pardon me, he's currently at 19 to the 10, but I think with the defender's advantage, really, Tefl's going to be fine. He just shut it down for a second time.
He is still making a couple drones behind this, making banelings as well to defend against the lings that are still coming across the map. But, Tefl's still droning up, and he's got 2 bases. Jon Snow just did finish a second base, so Tefl probably still feeling pretty good about, this matchup so far. Oh, got a small
Jon Snow does
there.
have a decent amount of lings right in the middle, but right now, Bug. Ooh, Bug NA, not sure what's going on right there.
Huh.
At first, he was going to be like, lings actually have 1,000 health in this game. What's going on? Something crazy. Now, what I was going to say with that, though, is that Tefl is playing ultra safe, too. He's got 2 banelings out, and even though Jon Snow has slight little leads here and there ling-wise, the banelings are just going to even it out. The defender advantage is good, and Tefl's just going to macro on up from here on out. However, do remember that Jon Snow, with not really committing too much with these attacks, like not committing too far in, is allowing him to fall back and have a lot of map control.
Yeah, Jon Snow behind this is getting a Roach Warren, and a Roach push behind this could do some damage to Tefl.
Great injects are good for Tefl, man. I'm just remembering the time in Legacy of the Void where they're automatic, and that's why I switched to Zerg. I'm looking at that like,
Yeah, the injects, I remember those auto injects. That was crazy.
Oh, so close, Jon Snow. Almost traded his entire life savings of Lings away, but as I said, Tefl is in a good position, but maybe Jon Snow can kind of lull him into thinking he's okay, and Jon Snow can be a little bit greedy like it looks like he is, taking a third base for himself.
And he's getting 4 Roaches behind this. You know, Tefl has just now started his Zergling speed and his Roach Warren too, so there's going to be a time where Jon Snow might have a little bit more than Tefl, and I'm wondering if Jon Snow will realize that and capitalize on it.
I think he may be able to. For right now, Tefl is just on that defense, making sure everything is airtight. He's got a very nice Overlord spread outside his natural base to make sure he knows what's going on. But on the other side of the map, Jon Snow, he's accumulating Roaches. But again, with the bigness of Central Protocol and cross spawns, even though we have a decent amount of Roaches for Jon Snow, Tefl, he's got 9, he's got 10 Roaches out on the map. He's going to be able to hold, but will he be able to punish Jon Snow's third base? That Jon Snow's getting quick, and I thought we were going to see 2 base plays out of both these players, but with the latent 1 base, I guess, from Jon Snow to the 2 base of Tefl, it's now turned into much more of a macro game than I'd guess, or much more of a not quite skimpy macro game as you'd see 2 base v 2 base.
And it looks like Tefl, he is moving out now, and Jon Snow sees it completely. He sees it move out from the very start, so he could definitely be ready for this. He's making 7 more Roaches. Ravager's being morphed in for Tefl, but Jon Snow, he may just have the defense he needs to hold this.
With that third hatch being completely done, that is nice for Jon Snow just because he can reinforce a little bit quicker and get a better angle on the attack from Tefl. But for now, Tefl moves in. It is 48 army supply to 44. Not too much of a difference, but oh, big Baneling shot. Nice job from Tefl. And Tefl may be able to overwhelm right here. Jon Snow got a little bit too far out. The Lings can get a nice surround, shutting down the Roaches and allowing the Roaches of Tefl to do the damage. But the defender's advantage is there for Jon Snow. He pushes down that rampa with these corrosive vials. It can easily sway into the favor of Tefl. Tefl falls back, but more Lings are streaming across the map, and if he can take it a second engagement like that first one, he can just decimate the Roach forces of Jon Snow in this game 3. It's currently 2-0, Tefl versus Jon Snow, and Tefl's 1 game away from victory. Jon Snow, he's got a long way to claw himself back if he wants to.
Yeah, Jon Snow, he is getting set up. He is getting more Lings, more Roaches, but Tefl's got a lot of army here. The army supplies do favor Tefl, but a nice concave from Jon Snow will take some of this out. But you know, Tefl at the same time, he's got so much. He's still got a lot streaming across the map. These Roaches, though, for Jon Snow doing work.
Tefl is getting pushed back. A couple Lings will reinforce, but Tefl is going to fairly just donate the rest of his force to the bottom left. And with a successful defense from Jon Snow, it's just going to be GG right there. Tefl did not take his third. He thought he could make it happen, but he just attacked slightly too late. Maybe didn't think Jon Snow was quite as greedy as he truly was.
Yeah. And Jon Snow on that defense, he had some really nice engagements. He really took advantage of where his opponent was and managed to overwhelm, especially with the defender's advantage. That definitely helped as well.
Great job right there. That was a game 3, I believe. It's now 2-1. Tefl still 1 game away, but Jon Snow did manage to take a game off of Tefl in this best of 5. The winner of this best of 5 series, that is whoever wins 3 games, will move on to the semifinals and triple their prize money. They will get $75 being in the round of 4 instead of $25 of the round of 8.
Yep, so already these players have earned a little bit of winnings, but they definitely want more. And you can see Jon Snow, he's pushing back, looking to tie the series now.
What's interesting is in the first 2 games, really just Tefl seemed to purely overwhelm Jon Snow. Like, he just ran in there and, oh, hey, I have 10 more roaches than you, and just, I'm going to do this. And it was very slow, but that's how he did it. And that game 2 is just the flip opposite. Tefl runs in and Jon Snow, whether it be defender's advantage, or he wasn't even mining really from that third, but the larva production, etc., just kind of able to overwhelm and completely shut down everything that was thrown his way. So either way, they're just shutting each other down in a lot of these games, or at least in these first 3. But game 4 is going to be on Dusk Towers, which is the much more common map in the map pool, something we haven't seen tonight, but we normally do see it. This map has the possibility, Koshkii, for the L word, lurkers.
Lurkers. Such a dirty word, DrennoC. Lurker.
I mean, actually, if you think about it, like if you're like that's you're pretty much a stalker. You're close to being a stalker. You just need to decide to follow someone when you're a lurker, and then you're a stalker.
Lurker's a pretty scary unit. However, it's still tough to say where this game is going to go. That in-base natural means that we might see hatch first openings from these players, but we've seen a lot of aggression still from Jon Snow. Wouldn't surprise me to see an earlier pull from both these players.
Jon Snow does like that. That is his trademark. Tefl, on a map like this, he could very well do that. But on the other hand, I feel like if he just throws down a hatch gas pool a little bit more standard, he can hold with whether it be queens or roaches at his main base on that ramp for a while. And heck, maybe even take a third base and hold with roaches. I've seen